Chelsea drugstore.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the 20 songs by the Rolling Stones that stand head and shoulders above the rest.
Maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the fact.
Number 20, Ruby Tuesday. It speaks largely to the permeative cultural influence of the Rolling Stones that one of their songs could go on to influence the title of an international restaurant chain.
She would never say where she came from.
It may seem strange, but the Stones have fans around the world. And with songs as good as Ruby Tuesday, it all seems to come together, right? The song is a ballad that doesn't feel far removed from something the band's contemporaries, the Beatles, could have written.
Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday.
There's a Baroque pop sensibility to the arrangement that's evocative and catchy, very much indicative of the Brian Jones era of the band. Ruby Tuesday is in and out at just over 3 minutes, but its legacy as an early Rolling Stones classic remains secure.
Still I'm gonna miss you.
Number 19, Miss You. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are indisputably two of the greatest songwriters in rock history, and Miss You proved that their magic was still going strong during the twilight of the 1970s.
I've been hanging out so long, I've been sleeping all alone, Lord, I miss you.
It's taken from the Some Girls album, a Jagger-heavy LP that saw the singer's growing influences from disco and reggae coming to the forefront. This song, as a result, is funky and groovy, hanging its hat on Charlie Watts' dance floor beats.
Baby, why you waiting so long?
The harmonica echoes the infectious melody line. Bill Wyman pops on that bass guitar, and Jagger courts controversy with his cheeky lyrics. In other words, it's typical Rolling Stones magic. Number 18, Shine a Light. The compositional history of Shine a Light is complicated, with most sources detailing its origins back to the late 60s.
So you stretched out in room 1009.
However, the version that was finally recorded and released on the Stones' landmark Exile on Main Street LP enjoys one concrete designation: its subject matter of founding member Brian Jones. Shine a Light celebrates Jones's legacy within the band, while also addressing his tragic passing. Billy Preston's piano and organ contributions lend an elegiac, almost gospel-like feeling to Shine a Light. Then, when the song picks up for the finale, well, it's all joyous singing in remembrance of all Jones brought to the table. A fitting coda for a musical icon. Number 17, Let's Spend the Night Together. Let's Spend the Night Together was first released in the Stones' native UK on a double A-sided single along with the aforementioned Ruby Tuesday.
Don't you worry, that was on your mind, oh man.
Both songs found their way onto American record store shelves on the Between the Buttons LP, and immediately courted controversy with Jagger's very suggestive lyrical choices.
Let's spend the night together. Now I need you more than ever.
Let's Spend the Night Together doesn't pretend to be anything other than an ode to getting a partner into bed, and it does so with total pop-styled flirtation. The subject matter of Let's Spend the Night Together was still getting the Stones into trouble as late as 2006, when they performed the song in China.
We'll spend the night together now.
Number 16, Street Fighting Man. There's a smoldering, burning power present within Street Fighting Man that served as yet another moment of controversy for one of classic rock's most iconic bands.
Everywhere I hear the sound.
Specifically, the song's lyrical themes of physical uprising and unrest perfectly tied into the tumultuous political landscape of the late 1960s. Street Fighting Man was the right song at the right time, an aggressive number that benefits greatly from the counterpoint raga instrumentation from Brian Jones.
When the white gal boa do, set to sing for the rock and roll band.
Jagger's vocals are also cocksure and brash, like a fiery preacher or righteous political leader. Street Fighting Man just gets it all right.
Just no place for street fighting band.
Number 15, Honky Tonk Women. You gotta hand it to producer Jimmy Miller and drummer Charlie Watts' cool-as-hell drum break and cowbell intro to Honky Tonk Women.
I met a gents on ballroom queen in Memphis.
It just sets the perfect stage for what's essentially a sleazy and nasty barroom blues number with absolutely no pretensions. You can practically hear bands like Aerosmith taking notes as the Rolling Stones kick out a countrified ode to getting it on with zero reservations or subtlety. Honky Tonk Women just wants to have a good time and wants to take you along for the ride, if only for one night. Number 14, Doo 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 Heartbreaker. The full title of this Stones classic is rather unwieldy, but ultimately, it doesn't really matter, because this is one of their best and most emotionally resonant songs.
The police in New York City, they chased a boy right through the park.
The horn arrangements bolster the chorus of Heartbreaker, the wah-wah guitar and funk bass feel ripped from a blaxploitation movie soundtrack, and Billy Preston's clavinet holds it all together. It's electricity personified, while the song's lyrical content tells two tragic stories that feel ripped from the headlines. The Stones prove just how much they're willing to put into their music, and we love Heartbreaker for all it brings to the table. Number 13, Brown Sugar. As with many songs from the heyday of rock and roll, this is one that hasn't aged great lyrically. In 1995, Jagger said he, quote, never would write that song now. And the Stones have even taken it out of their set lists in recent years. But while the song's lecherous subject matter doesn't always ring well with the social sensibilities of today, Brown Sugar is still undeniably significant to the Stones' story. The specific inspiration is a bit of a mystery, as accounts differ as to who Jagger is referring to as the titular Brown Sugar. What is known is that the song possesses an unconquerable groove, a slinky bit of guitar sleaze that feels like the best sort of bad idea. Number 12, Tumbling Dice. It's funny how history reframes certain albums. Exile on Main Street wasn't celebrated by rock critics at the time of its release, but it's largely seen today as one of the definitive Rolling Stones records. Tumbling Dice lends credence to this sentiment, a concert staple that seems ever present in the band's setlist, while also being indicative of their blues roots. The song possesses a herky-jerky groove that's difficult to pin down, a composition that's both exciting and unique among many Stones classics. This is a Keith Richards showcase for sure, a musical calling card that still sounds great today. Number 11, Can't You Hear Me Knocking? The Rolling Stones, as good as they are, don't usually get associated with 7-minute jamming epics.
Yeah, you got satin shoes.
But then again, maybe that's what makes Can't You Hear Me Knocking still sound fresh so many years after its original release. This is a hard rocker with soul, anchoring on Keith Richards' nasty opening riff, and it just builds from that point. You want saxophone licks? Bobby Keys has got your saxophone licks. Some sick lead guitar trade-offs? Richards and Mick Taylor are more than willing to oblige. Heck, even Billy Preston is back to lend some awesome atmosphere with his organ. Can't You Hear Me Knocking just fires on all cylinders. Number 10, Start Me Up. Start Me Up is one of those universally identifiable songs from the Rolling Stones, a tune that basically everyone knows by heart, even those who weren't around when it first dropped. This speaks largely to the song's intrinsically hooky nature, an instantly recognizable opening riff that helps define it as a staple of classic rock radio. The skeletal structures of the song actually date back to the late 70s, but it wouldn't be until 1981's Tattoo You LP that Start Me Up would finally be recorded properly for a Rolling Stones album. The rest, as they say, is history. Number 9. Beast of Burden. The Some Girls album often gets cited, rightfully so, as one of the band's best.
I'll never be your beast of burden.
And it's easy to see why that LP received so many accolades, given that it contains songs like Beast of Burden. Keith Richards said in the liner notes to the 1993 compilation Jump Back that the song was written, quote, in retrospect to Mick Jagger, for, quote, shouldering the burden of keeping things in line while Richards was sorting out his substance use disorder.
Am I hard enough? Am I rough enough? Am I rich enough?
Ultimately, however, it's the languid, easy pace of Beast of Burden that makes it stand out from the otherwise aggressive nature of Some Girls and its track listing. It's a smooth, fun song to wind down to after a long day.
I won't no beast of burden.
Number 8. Angie. What is it about songs with a person's name in the title that makes us wonder so hard about whom they're composed?
Angie, when will those clouds all disappear?
Beth, Layla, the list goes on and on. Rolling Stones fans can add Angie to that list, a tender and beautiful ballad taken from the band's Goat's Head Soup LP.
Where will it lead us from here?
The aforementioned Jump Back compilation from 1993 revealed that Angie is actually about Keith Richards' daughter, but that didn't stop fans in the 70s from musing whether or not the song was actually written about former Policewoman star Angie Dickinson. But at the end of the day, Angie will always have our hearts.
They can't say we never tried.
Number 7. Jumpin' Jack Flash. The singles market has always contained its share of amazing non-album tracks, and the Rolling Stones released one banger example of their own back in 1968.
I was born in a crossfire hurricane.
The song was called Jumpin' Jack Flash, and it would go on to not only become one of the band's most popular tunes, but a setlist staple that's performed in concert to this day.
I was raised by a toothless bearded head.
The song possesses a refreshingly simple and rockin' approach that critics saw as a return to form after the Stones went psychedelic with 1967's Their Satanic Majesty's Request. What's particularly cool about the tune is how it exemplifies that the Stones can basically work within any musical framework they choose, and always make it sound great. Number 6. Wild Horses. The Rolling Stones probably shouldn't have given away Wild Horses to the country rock trailblazers of the Flying Burrito Brothers to record in 1970, before properly giving it a go a year later. Then again, it's the Stones version that's probably best remembered, so maybe their reconsideration doesn't really matter in the end.
Wild, wild horses.
What's most important is how Wild Horses' simple yet evocative arrangements lend it a beauty that endures among the minds of many Stones fans. This is a ballad that many consider to be one of the band's best, and who are we to argue?
Wild, wild horses. We are right them someday.
Number 5. You Can't Always Get What You Want. The international influence and profile of the Rolling Stones is as such that these top songs on our list are known by pretty much everybody.
I saw her today at the reception.
And You Can't Always Get What You Want is basically cultural DNA at this point, from the song's opening choral vocals to that classic chorus that's become a mantra for many fans around the world.
You can't always get what you want.
You Can't Always Get What You Want has almost become more than a song. It's become a way of life for Stones fans for whom the band's music has meant so much over the years. It's a song you can listen to when you're feeling down, up, or somewhere in between. It's pretty much perfect.
Baby, try sometime, just my fine, just my fine. They get what you need. Hey.
Number 4. I Can't Get No Satisfaction. The parenthetical titling of songs can sometimes feel arbitrary, but I Can't Get No Satisfaction actually makes the most out of this peculiarity.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Let's forget for a moment that explosive opening riff from Keith Richards. Mick Jagger's staccato singing of the title for the chorus juxtaposes brilliantly against the smooth sexiness the singer brings to the verses. It makes that aforementioned parenthetical feel earned and intentional. Meanwhile, the arrangements just set the song on fire, from the hey 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 section to Keef's electric guitar playing. This is mid-60s beat pop with rock and roll swagger to spare, and we love it to pieces. Number 3, Paint It Black. We're continuing on the punctuation tip with our next killer cut.
I see a red door and I want it painted black.
1966's Paint It Black was originally released with a comma in its title, an error courtesy of UK label Decca. But comma or not, Paint It Black is one of those songs that helped influence the band's occult reputation into the late 60s, a demonic-sounding rocker that featured Brian Jones on sitar. It's the sort of song that feels tailor-made for cinema, and it's been used as such multiple times over the years. The Rolling Stones didn't always deliver this kind of atmosphere with their music, but they owned it when they did.
I wanna see it painted black, yeah.
Number 2, Sympathy for the Devil. Is there any rock singer in history better suited to sing a first-person diatribe from Satan than Mick Jagger?
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Probably not. And that's just one aspect of what makes 1968's Sympathy for the Devil work so well. Then, now, and forever. The arrangements aren't heavy on traditional percussion, instead allowing the congas and backing vocals to peek out beneath Jagger's bratty lyrics about Old Scratch's trials and tribulations.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
A blistering guitar solo underlines the song's sinister and Luciferian intentions, and Sympathy for the Devil rides this wave all the way, as the bass guitar lifts up for the instrumental outro. To paraphrase fellow rock icons AC/DC, if this is hell, then hell ain't a bad place to be.
What you tell me, baby? What's my name?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Gimme Shelter. We have a theory on the songwriting session that crystallized 1969's Gimme Shelter into existence. Hear us out. We think that aliens came to Earth, gave the Rolling Stones 4 minutes and 37 seconds of breathtaking music as an intergalactic offering, and then peaced out. Joking aside, how else can mere mortals explain the perfection that is Gimme Shelter and its stellar arrangements? There's an apocalyptic feeling to the song's grim melodies and shadowy chord phrasings. It's an impossible power struggle from Jagger and his collaborative muse, soul legend Mary Clayton, whose vocals cement Gimme Shelter as demonstratively powerful. Now, we're not saying that our aforementioned alien theory holds any water, but we are saying that Gimme Shelter is the best Rolling Stone song ever. Are there any deep cut Stone songs that you think should have made our list? Let us know in the comments.
Just you be my backstreet girl.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.